had the mental age of a 6-year-old. Today, after a trial lasting 2.5 months, 2 men and 3 teenage boys have been found guilty of a series of rapes and sexual assaults. 18-year-olds Zendo Murga and Hassan Abdullah, aged 33, were convicted at the Old Bailey today, along with 3 boys who cannot be named for legal reasons. But it was Peterborough where they carried out their crimes. Our social affairs editor, Jackie Long, is there. Jackie.
Well, this is the latest in a long line of depressingly familiar, depressingly grim exploitation cases. Fundamentally, this crime is about one thing. It is about the brutal sexual abuse of vulnerable children. So this sort of street grooming, as it's become known, has become controversially and inextricably linked with questions of ethnicity, the ethnicity of the perpetrators. And in recent times, the focus has almost entirely been on that ethnicity question. Now, this case is thought to be the first of its kind to involve a group of Roma men, and I've been on the streets of Peterborough today to gauge reactions to the verdict, and there's no question that this is feeding into an already tense debate about immigration levels here. There'll be more on that in a moment, but first, Cordelia Lynch has all the details of this case.
They were groomed for sex in the glare of the streetlights for more than a year. The largely Roma gang lured 5 vulnerable girls on this busy road less than a mile from Peterborough city centre, feeding them drink and drugs. 2 girls are now in care.
I was absolutely disgusted what he's been doing because he has children.
3 of the girls were British and 2 were sisters of Czech Roma origin. The youngest just 12, but with a mental age of 6.
Some of these young people have made serious attempts at self-harming because of the sheer distress caused by them by this behaviour.
Today, 2 men and 3 teenagers were found guilty of a series of sexual offences, including 18 counts of rape and inciting child prostitution.
In Rochdale, Oxford and Derby, we've seen Pakistani men grooming girls. But what happened here in Peterborough is different. The perpetrators were largely Roma from the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and most of them were just teenagers.
But one of the ringleaders was 33, Hassan Abdullah, an Iraqi Kurd known to police. On the streets, he befriended a young Roma group who called themselves the Peterborough Mali Gangsters, meaning small. Abdullah's ex-partner, Nicola, who's Czech, testified against him in court. She told Channel 4 News that he was violent towards her, manipulating and isolating her from the truth.
He has no respect for anyone, and he just thought that he can do anything he wants. And nobody gonna stop him, no police, nobody. He was the way, he had this idea of thinking that I am man, I can do anything I want, and you are a woman, you are not allowed to do anything, so shut up, and always swearing. And he was like, if you hurt me one time, I'll give you 100 times more back.
There was another much younger boss, Zdeno Murga, a Roma boy known as Skinny, now 18.
The boss.
Who was a show-off who wooed the girls and posted this video in 2012 at the time of the abuse. He was also a keen dancer, described as charismatic and controlling. In this playground in Peterborough's Central Park, his victim, who had severe learning difficulties, was gang raped and passed around for £20 a time. She told the court she felt dead. And more abuse took place at the home of Skinny's 33-year-old ally.
And once I came here, he said, can you clean up the house because the landlord is coming? And I just saw everywhere bottles of alcohol, his underwear on the street and girls' stuff. And the other people told me as well they have been doing horrible things with those girls. They told me that they tied them, they cut them naked, tied them around a tree, slept with them.
Above this kebab shop on Lincoln Road, he held more violent parties.
At times there were 10 men surrounding just one girl, plying her with drink and drugs. One victim said the men threatened to take her clothes off and force her to walk home naked if she didn't have sex with them.
Back in Central Park, we spoke to a teenager who says he knew one of the gang. He described what he told him.
There was this one girl and around 20 people, and she was giving
What's he fucking smirking for?
to everyone at start, apparently. I think he thought that it's kind of fun, like an action, kind of new experience maybe.
The crimes went unnoticed on a street where groups of men chatting up girls is a common sight. Lincoln Road is also the heart of Peterborough's immigrant communities. There are around 100 languages spoken here, but we were told there is some conflict between cultures.
I don't believe that.
It's Peter Torak speaks, a Roma police officer who moved to Peterborough when he was 18.
The Roma community is still shocked by it. Obviously, there are some young males from the Roma community, and it's a worry to the community that this will create more tension, more negative media attention.
Oh, what a shame!
The attitude to women hasn't changed. Most normal, law-abiding citizens respect the women, and especially in the Roma community, women have got very strong position in the Roma community.
The grooming that started here finally came to light when one girl told her social worker. But most of the victims and the gang were already known to the authorities.
Not all the young people were known to all agencies, such as ourselves and our colleagues in Children's Services. It's fair to say that some of them have been. I think, like society, really, we're recognising that we need a different approach to deal with young people, that we may previously have stereotyped it as maybe choosing to take part in risky behaviour, choosing to go missing, choosing to disengage with education, and we're very much changing our approach now.
Cambridgeshire police are investigating multiple grooming cases involving men of 10 different nationalities. The girls in this case are trying to rebuild their lives, while Nicola is left with the legacy of what her ex-boyfriend did to them.
I know there are still some girls that they are getting beat up, they are being treated really badly, and I would advise them, leave them alone. Stand up to them and leave them alone, because this will never ever change.
Police forces claim they are learning more lessons about how to identify grooming gangs, but they also need to reduce them, and that will require a far greater understanding of why people like Hassan Abdullah and Zdeno Merga decide to abuse girls in the first place. Cordelia Lynch, Channel 4 News, Peterborough.
Well, this is the Lincoln Road where the men groomed the girls before going on to abuse them. And I spent the day here trying to find out how locals are reacting to this verdict. The Lincoln Road is a visual testament to the layers of immigrant